Django. Django.
Hey, yo, episode 16, Enter the Lab, Elvis, Escobar, Fort Sama. We had a great week last week with 2 episodes coming out, 14 and 15. 15 with Charlie Dennis was one of our most viewed, most clicked kind of interactive episode that we've had here on Enter the Lab. So we want to thank him again for not only being on it, but also reposting it. Oakland Roots, shout out. They're actually 0-3 since we've been watching them, so maybe we need to stop. Maybe we need to stop watching them a little bit, take some time off. But it was a great week. I felt like we, as a podcast, as a brand, as 2 individuals being creative in this space, we really took another step up. So appreciate you guys for following, new subscribers, listeners. We kind of go. We have flows to our topics and flows to our podcast, but we kind of go off raw. We say how we feel. There's no editing involved. So if you're a new listener, somebody that haven't listened to too many episodes or none at all, we appreciate you for listening now. How's your week going, Fort?
Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
ウィル・スミスにやられました。
Wow, dude. It was a G.I. Jane joke.
G.I. Jane のジョークだったんです。
I'm going to, okay?
I'm going to.
I could, okay.
Yikes.
That was a greatest night in the history of television.
テレビ史上最
Well, I mean, it already feels like a long week and it's only Monday.
Dude, honestly, I didn't watch that shit because for what?
Nobody does.
But, bro, he really did smack the shit out of him. And I don't know. Chris Rock is a way better man than I am. Because,
I mean,
ain't no way a grown man is walking up to me and smacking me like alone, like wherever I'm at. But on national television, he held his composure pretty well. So kudos to that. But man, Will Smith is going through it, bro. He's going through it because I feel like that was just him, like
all of it
letting go.
up.
Yeah, just letting go of all the jokes and all the roasts and everything that he's been going through in the past few years. And Chris Rock was just us, he was like a sacrificial lamb.
For real.
Dog.
I will say, to backtrack, when I first heard it, Bree told me that what happened, and I was like, I already questioned it. I was like, nah, it was staged, because immediately my thought went to Will Smith does a lot of CGI on his Instagram and TikTok and all that. Over the last couple of years, he's been very known to put out well-produced videos, which are cool. Whatever. He's got a lot of money. Why put out a regular
For
video
real.
when you could, put out some craziness? So the first thought without seeing the video, I was like, nah, if it happened, I think it's probably some edited. And then I watched it, and immediately I thought it was fake based on the smack. The way it didn't look fluid. It looked too set up, right? It didn't look when I heard he smacked him, I thought they brawled out on live TV. So when I seen it, I was like, oh, that's not a fight. He walked off, and then I continued to watch it. And then I went to social media like everybody else did, and everybody was confirming as if it was real, so I had to believe it. But in this world, I love to not believe things because you got a lot in this world, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like the whole thing stemmed from, Chris Rock saying a G.I. Jane joke, she
Which
suffers
wasn't
from
even it wasn't that bad. It was a good joke.
Yeah,
You're gonna
she
get roasted
suffers
out
from
of it.
alopecia. You know, it didn't seem like she
Whatever.
liked the joke too much. So I guess Will had to do something, but bruh, like that was
Smack
bad,
heard around the world, bro.
right?
That was
Right, and
wild.
and that's what set you off, bro. Like, not other dudes like fucking your wife. Like, that was cool with you. Like, come on, man.
Like you said before, it was the Mento in the Pepsi 2-liter soda. Like it was just that little last one on national TV. Like I said, I'm still keeping a little bit that it's fake just because I want to be at least consistent to be like, oh, from the moment I seen it, I thought it was a little sketchy. It's still a little weird when you backtrack it. I broke down. I watched. I consumed knowing that we were going to record today, Monday night, and that happened Sunday night. I knew we were going to spend at least 5-10 minutes on it. I wanted to watch everything out there and listen to all sides of the story. And it was from, he says a joke. If you're watching on YouTube, we played it so you could see it. If you haven't seen it, if you've been under a rock, basically,
Right,
for the last
yeah.
24 hours, 48 hours. But he laughs at the joke. It cuts off of him for like 5 seconds, and then he walks up. So he laughs before he does it. He's at the end of the day, he's an actor. So when people are like, oh, he looked mad. Yeah, okay. He fucking looks mad in movies as well.
Yeah.
But that second one, when he goes, not the keep your name out my wife's name out, the second one was like, everybody's heard that from like their father, at a moment. Like maybe not those exact words, obviously, but like that tone, that, oh, I thought he was joking.
He being serious.
Or your closest friend that like you get on him a little bit. And then he yells at you, and you're like, he'll get over it. And it's like, oh, he's serious about this. So there's a lot about the video itself, but hey, for entertainment purposes, let's say it's real. Let's all pretend it is, or it actually is, and we'll have fun conversations about it for the next several months, and then
Twitter was going crazy, man.
Yeah,
I love Twitter,
gets
bro.
Their money's worth right there.
Yeah, I can't believe that shit's still free, bro. Like, all you got to do literally is just type in Will Smith on Twitter, and you see all the memes, all the tweets. Like, the internet is undefeated, man. Like, the reason I think it was kind of real was because when it cut off, like Tyler Perry and Denzel were, trying to like mediate and make things a little bit
That's
better,
what made me. That was the first step that I believed that it was real. That was the only thing, because it wasn't on TV that they did it. It was like a behind the scenes during a commercial. That was the first thing I seen last night that I go, okay, it's not fake or it's not staged, because some of it could. My other thought was some of it could have been staged, and then maybe they took it to the next level. Maybe he didn't know what he was gonna say, but then they had to do the bit anyway. So like a part of me was like going from not thinking it's real at all to like trying to convince myself that it was, because let's be honest, 95% of the people I talked to about it today wasn't gonna watch the Oscars or didn't plan to, and then turned it on after or whatever. But it's not out of the question that it could be staged, right? Something like this to raise ratings. Now all of a sudden the Grammys, I think, are next week. People are gonna turn into the Grammys next week, because it's like, well,
what could happen?
See what else wild shit happens.
Yep. And then like he went on stage after he got his award, and he's talking about like, oh, I'm a huge advocate for love. Motherfucker, you just slapped someone on national television. Don't even do that, dog. Like,
come on, right? Man. Like you got upset about somebody embarrassing your wife, then you went on stage to embarrass somebody else. Like, you can't have it both ways. You know what I mean? Like I'm an advocate of love. Okay.
Like, bro, he's a comedian.
But he's a comedian, so like you get that's his job.
Say some
it's
crazy
Chris Rock.
Shit.
You know him for how many? They probably know each other for 40 years, bro.
So long,
literally. That's what's weird about it too. It's like it wasn't a rando. It's Chris Rock.
Right.
Like, I'm sure, unless there's some behind the scenes thing we don't know, and that was the last straw, but I doubt it.
Maybe Chris Rock fucked Jada. Who knows?
Shit. Tupac, August.
They were saying I'm not impressed, Will. Tupac would have shot him.
Bro, people, like I've said on this program before, people are creative. When news breaks, entertainment news, Twitter goes to work.
Now
everybody's got a PhD in post all of a sudden.
Yep. Now all the women are gonna be like, yo, will you defend me like that? Like Will did to Jada?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Get out of here. Nah,
stop.
All right. So We got that over with because obviously it's the hottest topic. That will probably go on. It was trending for like a full fucking 12 hours. And things usually don't trend on Twitter for like more than a few hours because the way, the world works is always the next topic. But right now it's number 3 on Twitter. It was number 1 for the last 12 hours, 16. So it lets you know how many people are still talking about it, creating some content. This is how people go viral.
Mm-hmm.
People that are creative, that have a page that, hey, I'm funny, I'm witty. Can I put some things together? This is how you do go viral. You create a nice tweet, a nice Instagram post. All of a sudden, you got 100K in like 2 hours. Everybody's following you, maybe checking out your other shit. So this is it's an opportunity when entertainment kind of goes south.
As soon as it happened, bro, I was like, yo, this is great content, bro. Like, this is how we're starting off tomorrow, man. Because it was. You
hit me up right away.
Got to, man. That shit was so perfect. It was an easy layup.
Easy. So on this episode, we're going to go into some, NCAA. Obviously, we had the Sweet 16 over the last week, Elite 8. Now we have our Final 4. Talk about that. Some pro hoops. Obviously, the, Miami Heat they're trending down. 4-game losing streak. They're fighting with each other. KYRIE's back, and then we got some football news, soccer news, and then some, shout outs and all that. But let's get started and keeping that trend of some entertainment news. One other thing that was going viral too last week after we recorded was that you said that to me too. That male birth control pill.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Sign me up.
I'll let you take this one.
Yo, like honestly, like as long as there's like no crazy like side effects, which I'm sure there's gonna be because always, bro.
With
side
the women,
effects
there's side effects. You don't think,
side effects might cause heart attack, stroke, and maybe death. Like these commercials, bro. Like always be getting me.
Seizures in your sleep.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, dude, that's a great step in just society because there's a bunch of people that are having kids, especially now. Exactly. And let's be honest, let's be raw. No one likes to use condoms. So shit, like if we could take this thing and it changes up how things go and whatnot, I'm all for it, bro. Like, why not? It's good.
I don't know, man. I like the world how it is. No, but I see people are doing polls like, would you take it? And all the men are saying no, and then women are like, finally there's an alternative, but I don't think it'll be catchy. I mean, what is the procedure that you get the little snip?
A little vasectomy.
Yeah, I didn't want to miss.
Yeah, and they got reverse ones too. Like you can get one and
you can reverse it. I don't know how you reverse it, by the way, because you're cutting a cord, then you're putting it together. That seems wrong.
Whenever I think of vasectomy, I always think of that the Office scene where he talks about snip like snip when he has his vasectomy and then he has to get it reversed and shit. But
I did learn last week that it is something that you don't have to go under for it. You could do it right there in the doctor's doctor's room. You're not under. It happens. You're like, oh shit. Obviously they numb the shit or whatever have you. But
right.
Wow. I don't know why I know so much about it. I got into a conversation last week about it. So. I haven't been the same since.
Right. Hey, I'm for it, bro. I don't know if I'll take it myself, but why not? It's a good step in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, I won't go into details why, but I'm fine the way things have been going with that performance. But to follow up on a thing that we mentioned last episode, Brittney Griner was somebody that we talked about that so many people were DMing us, emailing, like it was just crazy. Like, enter the lab. Why aren't you mentioning this topic? It's been going on for weeks. And we're like, we apologize. We didn't know.
Right.
So, in a couple group chats, we had to mention it. Brittney Griner was obviously locked down, detained in Russia, playing overseas while there's a war going on. And she's fucking smuggling cannabis oils or whatever. There was an update last week after we recorded 14 that she will now get help from the U.S. I guess they were cutting off all ties prior to no communication. So now there's been approval to communicate with her in the next several weeks to get going on that situation. So she's already been in there for 4
Yeah,
weeks
she's
already.
been there
So
for
that's
a
a long
while
time
now.
to have no knowledge, like not know anything
And
what your life's
yeah,
going to be for the next whatever.
who knows how long? And supposedly it's not like a jail or a prison, like it's a labor camp. So
Oh, is it?
like yeah, so she's like, it's not like she's gonna be like, you know, I guess like chilling or hanging out isn't the right word
Yeah.
for jail or prison,
They're
but
putting them to work, huh?
yeah, labor camp don't sound fun. Like, that's got to be worse than jail, especially in Russia. Like,
Yeah, I
come
don't know
on,
how
dog.
I don't know how prisons in Russia are, but I know in America it's, if you're in a private prison, you're looked at as like an asset, as a commodity. So they put you to work. They're making money off you already by having you in
Yeah,
there, and then they put you
course.
cheap labor. There's a couple documentaries. I know John Oliver had a few segments about how
He's really good.
fucked
John
up the
Oliver's
prisons. Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
When he goes on in a topic and covers it for like 15 minutes of the episode, you really learn some shit. So I learned a lot about American prisons, and I can't imagine what a labor camp would be like in Russia.
Russia? Nah, bro.
Those are hardworking humans outside of jail. I can't imagine what they'll make them do inside of jail.
Nah, I'm not with it. I hope everything works out good for her. Like, we get our jokes off and everything like that, but at the end of the day, she's an American citizen. They should bring her back, and it's
free
GRINER. They got to
GRINER.
figure something. Yeah, free GRINER. So I hope it works out for her, and she's able to come back in some adequate amount of time.
Absolutely. So we'll keep you posted. We said on 14, we'll keep you posted whenever things evolve, because I know a lot of you guys have have been begging for us to cover that, and we're men of all people. I was gonna say a couple letters, but I can't name all the letters that we're supporters of. But we're all the L's, all the G's, all the B's, all the A
all
and
the
double
T's.
C.
Yeah, that stuff
We
is
support.
nuts. Yeah.
Last thing that I wanted to mention, I thought that was a cool gesture that came out, and it was trending for most of the day last week, was Nike and Vanessa Bryant with MAMBA sneakers, and Nike had a deal, which there was a lot of controversy after, obviously, when somebody of his caliber, which not only he was in like almost the prime of his life, you take his basketball career, what he was doing on the court, because he was so consumed by on the court, Kobe Bryant, that he didn't do much off the court. You know what I mean? He wasn't one of these guys. He wasn't an entrepreneur. I think he was doing the writing thing towards the end of his career, but like for the 95% of it, he was all in on the court. He wasn't seeking out any business ventures that he had to have a real hands-on approach in. And, when he died, I mean, after he retired, he was really starting to hit the peak of his life then, like giving back to, women of basketball and doing all these great things. So there was a lot of controversy with, his assets, what Nike's going to do, who's going to take advantage of his death with making profit off. So I thought it was really cool that Nike and Vanessa, I think it may have been a long-term or a lifetime deal or something, but they're going to do something in collab to create a sneaker for both, what's his daughter's name? Gigi and Kobe. They're going to do a sneaker. They're going to probably produce obviously some Mamba, that word and that brand was huge before, but it became now it's a mentality. Now it's probably going to be a college, lesson. But that was pretty cool when I seen that, Goodbye Nike, even though they do a lot of bad.
I don't think they really had another choice, to be honest. I mean, like,
yeah, you have to do that. Got to get that done.
Yeah, you got to do something. I mean, it's Kobe. Like, I don't really want to say held your brand for so long because it's Nike, but he was a big part of it, a main part of it. I think you could say probably just under Braun, as far as Nike basketball sneakers go, so it's only right that they do something. I'm sure it's going to help out Vanessa and that estate and their family. So
yeah.
It's a good gesture on both parties. It's mutual benefit, so I'm all for it. I mean, I'm gonna try and get some of those sneakers, even though it's probably gonna be impossible to get. But hey, I'm all for it. I like it. It's a good thing for Nike. They're only gonna benefit from it. So
yeah, it's one of those things where they probably Kobe was pretty good with I'm sure his business off the court after he retired or on the way out, and he obviously made a shit ton of money. They would have been good as an estate or as a family for years to come. That's not a question. But you hope that when in somebody's passing like that, that was a tragedy, that some entity or many entities aren't taking advantage of the name of the death. And you hope that quote unquote advantage, because it's weird to use that word when somebody passes, but that the person benefiting most is the family, and the children he left behind. So I thought that was very cool. I rock Nike only. Obviously, I have a Adidas hat on. I have whatever this shirt is, but 98% of my wardrobe is Nike. But they have slave labor and stuff like that.
Do it.
I just overlooked the slave labor and
everybody got slave labor now.
But my feet look fresh, so I look over those small little details in humanity. Let's see. Yeah, and let's go into obviously what's been buzzing, what's been going on over the last, last Thursday? When did the bracket start? 2 weeks ago? I lost all track of time.
Yeah, I lost track of time too. I want to say maybe 2 weeks ago, week and a half.
2 weeks. So when we recorded 14, it was going on into the first and second rounds, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, we talked about that a little bit. Obviously, the main topic that we didn't get to talk about on 14 that has since evolved was St. Peter's, Peacocks, New Jersey, New York. It played in New Jersey, but they got a lot of New York ties to it. So give me your feedback from, you were watching intently with Bet the Fort picks and stuff like that. So talk to me about that experience and how great that fucking team was to get where they wound up.
Dude, that run was just nothing short of improbable, amazing. I mean, all the adjectives you want to add on to it. Like, they beat Kentucky, which was a lot of people's champion, myself included. They beat Purdue, which Purdue was a top-ranked team. They were number one for a while. They were top 5 pretty much their whole season. So it's not like they beat smaller schools like they are. They beat these top, good schools, and they had good coaching. I mean, we already know he's going to Seton Hall, Shaheem. So that kind of happens all the time whenever these smaller schools make these runs. Their coaches kind of end up leaving, which more power to them. They got to make their money. They did a good job, and they got to figure things out. But, bro, the fact that they had to go out and, ask permission to get, $1,000 to, travel and, make sure that they're there for the game, that's kind of crazy, bro. You're a university. You're still an establishment at the end of the day. That's something you got to get done.
When you don't expect, when the director or the sports director don't expect them to go to anything past the first round, it's all new to them. Oh shit, we got to buy more hotels. Oh wait, you won again? We got to fly you where?
Yeah.
It's it's all new to a place like that. Obviously, the blue blood colleges and universities have that, in their routine. But these small, what did they say the enrollment was? 1,500?
Oh, I'm not sure. I didn't hear it.
I think I heard 1,500. In there, it's super small. Basically a high school. Most high schools are bigger than that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. We kind of touched a little bit about it when we talked about it last time, but it's just the parity in college basketball now. These kids, they just go anywhere now. Hey, I could go to this, like you said, blue blood school, and I might not get playing time. I might not figure it out, but I can go to a smaller school and ball out. And the transfer portal has opened up. It's a lot more flexible now. So it's only more fun for us as fans because we get to see more teams, and upsets are fun. Upsets are really fun.
And there was a lot of them, bro.
Everyone loves an underdog. So I'm cool with it. That run was awesome. I hope we get to see more of it.
Yeah.
My Canes almost pulled it off. They got to their first Elite Eight in school history. That was pretty big. And I thought we were going to pull it off, but second half, I don't know what the boys did in the locker room.
you didn't come out the locker room on that one.
Nope.
It's like when I text you the other day when the Nets were playing the Heat. Hey man, second half, I'm waiting for the other team to show up. That's what Kansas was doing. They were waiting for y'all to show up. But years ago, over the last I would say within the last decade, the March Madness has really become they started to market that a lot. Before it was always known, they would throw around the name. Now when, I mean, I've had a couple people in group chats that are girls that are like, hey, you guys coming over for March Madness? Not like the tournament, not the NCAA. Like, they don't know what it is. They just know March Madness is basketball and it's college. Like, those are the three, and then maybe a bracket, right? But it's just crazy how that name has overcome the entire thing. And we talked about Cinderella stories with back in the day, you know, 90s, 2000s, like Cinderella, like the first 12 seed, the first 10 seed, 8 seed to go to the Elite Eight. Now it's a 15 seed is almost is in the Elite Eight, almost contender within, you know, 10, 15 points of going to the Final Four. That's wild. I mean, first team in my me watching basketball, college basketball, was Butler, and they did it a couple times. I remember.
Yeah, with Gordon
That
Hayward.
was like that was one, right? That was one of the biggest ones that went to a Final Four.
Yeah,
and went to a championship.
They lost to Florida. Yeah,
they lost to Florida and then lost to Duke in the championship, right?
I think so.
I believe so. Yeah,
I
think so. Yeah, because I think they lost to Duke by like a half-court shot that almost went in, and then they lost that game. Look it up just to count it because I want to make sure we're spot on with that. But yeah, there's no more Cinderellas, like, because it happens so often. There can't be Cinderella story when there's 8 of them going on in a bracket. You know what I mean? So it's just like an everyday thing. They got to come up with new terminology now, because the Cinderella stories, that's every year. So it's no longer like a cool thing to use. March Madness, it's fucking March Chaos at this point. You know, it's not even. We got to come up with something else. But it's
they went to 2 championships back to back. They lost to Duke. Come on.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, 2010 they lost to Duke, and then 2011 they lost to UConn.
They did not. Are you sure those are both championship games?
Yeah,
Butler.
I'm looking at it right now. I'll share the screen.
Holy fuck!
Yeah,
that
was both Gordon Hayward's years.
It has to be.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Dude was a baller.
Yeah, they're a bunch of dogs, literally, over there.
Look right here, 2010 national championship game, #1 Duke L. They lost by 2. Oh my god,
that was the buzzer. Yeah, that was the one that they chucked it up at half court, and it literally
almost went in.
It almost went in, and then the next year, what?
They lost to UConn. That was probably Kemba Walker year. Yeah, nuts.
Wow. Oh, shout out Butler, bro.
For real.
Back to back, that's crazy. Yeah, they went from, and they were.
Didn't a 16 beat a 1 seed?
Yeah, that's happened a couple. I remember it never happened before like 2005, and then it's happened like 3 or 4 times since. It's one of those wild stats that it never happened before like 10, 12 years ago, and then it's happened a few times since.
They beat Virginia, University of Maryland, Baltimore County, the Retrievers.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
It wasn't even the University of Maryland. University of Maryland, Baltimore County,
right?
12th Street.
12th Street, yeah. Becoming the first 16 seed to be the #1 seed. Yep, 2018.
What year was that?
2018.
2018. Wow, I thought, and it's only happened once since.
Yeah,
I thought it's happened a couple times. Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought it hasn't happened.
I think like 14 seeds have beat 3 seeds, and like 13 seeds beat 4 seeds a lot. But 16 over 1, I think that was. I'm pretty sure that's only one time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But bro, 15 seed going all the way to the Elite 8. That's nuts.
That's wild.
It's wild.
Yeah, and then you got teams like UNC who hasn't shown promise much all year. You know, they've had their moments, but a disappointing year with a brand new head coach taking over a legacy, trying to push the program forward. All of a sudden now they're in the Final Four playing Duke. So it's like, it's crazy how you have these different narratives of each team's like a 15 seed going from nothing to something to UNC, who's supposed to be good, that was way underperforming. And then you get all the #1 seeds except for all the #1 seeds are out, or Kansas was
except
#1.
Kansas is the only one. Kansas plays Villanova.
So Gonzaga once again were
they do it every year, bro.
There'll be those Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills went to like 4 Super Bowls in a row, never won one of them. It's just they get there, they give him the #1 seed basically every single year, if not every other year, and they can't They can't
They
capitalize on that.
they're doing Gonzaga an injustice because they're in some sorry ass conference and they don't play like good competition. So like
And they have
of
great
course,
draft picks. They have
always
top
like,
5 guys, top 10 guys every year, and they just can't put it all together.
I don't know, man. It's hard to win in March, dude. It's hard to like get to a Final Four. Like I know we talk about it saying like some of these coaches only got 1 or 2, but man, like just getting there is hard, bro. Like some of these kids, we talked about it. Some of these kids, like this is their shining moment in basketball. Like they're not going to make it to the league. They might not get drafted, so they're going all out. No breaks to try and win. So it only makes sense. It's fun to watch. I think that's the appeal to it because it's one and done. That's it.
Yeah, one and done. Anybody could have a great game of runs, all that. The women's side of things have been exciting. I haven't been watching it, but like I did last year because I was in the bubble. But I have been, whenever it comes up on the feed or something, I'll pay attention. UConn's playing NC State right now. When we wrap up this, I'll probably throw that on one of the TVs because I like to watch Paige do her thing. I like her as a woman athlete. I'm trying to look at. So we got Duke, UNC Final Four against Kansas and Villanova.
Yeah,
so
Villanova just lost
on
one of their better players with his Achilles tear.
I told you when I was watching it live, I text you immediately because we were having some people over on a Saturday, and because of Kevin Durant, I'm super familiar with Achilles injuries. Because I wanted to know when he would come back. I wanted to know who had him, so I looked into so many of them. The 2 things I told is when an Achilles pops and they have good footage of it, it looks like they pull their calf. Their calf literally ripples.
Yeah, it just jiggles.
And so that's how you know. And also the second thing is and Rex Chapman on Twitter confirmed this. I said it to somebody I was sitting next to, and then I went on Twitter and I seen it was you turn around immediately because it feels like somebody shot you in your leg. If you watch him, he takes that one step to go, and before the Achilles ruptures, immediately before he hit the ground, he went to go turn around to the referee almost as if. And Kevin Durant said the same thing when he popped his. He was like, "Yeah, it felt like somebody stepped on my foot, stepped on the back of my heel." That's what it feels like. Obviously, it feels harsher than that or harder than that, but I seen that, and that sucks because he was one of their main players, their ball handlers, right?
Yeah, it was like him and Gillespie, who's like a 5th-year senior or something like that. So
yeah, is he a white dude? Sounds like it.
Yeah, he's a white
dude. Those white boys began 5.
They always show up in the tournament, dog. They always show up in the tournament.
They're so good,
dude.
Man,
it happens.
These white kids be hooping in the NCAAs.
It's dude. Like I feel like in the NBA, like
game gets faster and more athletic, bro. That's
yeah,
what it is.
it's gonna make sense. But like in college, like if you're like composed, if you play organized basketball, if you're a well-coached team, like that takes over, just being a freak athlete. And Villanova is
because you got a system. The way the play is, it's a slower paced game. If you have a system, you work the ball around people. There's no one-on-one play. There's no James Harden getting the ball and pick and roll. It's not a pick and roll isolation. That's not how you play. That's why a lot of these coaches go to the NBA in a different style and they can't coach them. And they're older and they know more. You got the guy that's 32 years old that's trying to get another contract that plays selfishly. You're not getting that in college. In college, everybody's equal. Everybody's trying to play well first, and then also how many of us can get to the league. And that's why some coaches don't translate properly to the NBA because it's a mentally, physically, maturity, emotionally, it's all different.
I got some
anything to
news.
add on go ahead.
It doesn't have to do with what we're talking about. Will Smith posted something on Instagram.
Ooh. Can you show it?
An apology sorts.
Yeah, put it up. We're breaking news. Maybe somebody will listen to this 12 hours from now and this is the first I hear of it.
We go here.
I feel fancy. I got a wine aerator now. I only use it.
What is that?
Shit. Look at the guy. Come on, dog. Come on,
this
dog.
guy.
I know you ain't French.
Definitely not. Right here.
Read it.
Violence in all forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are part of the job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed, and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There is no place for violence in a world of love and kindness. I think there's one more slide. Yes, there is. I would also like to apologize to the Academy, the producers of the show, and all the attendees and everyone watching around the world. I would like to apologize to the Williams family and my King Richard family. I deeply regret that my behavior has stained what I was been otherwise gorgeous journey for all of us. I am a work in progress. Sincerely, Will. Dude, that's like something you write to your girlfriend after she catches you cheating on you.
Yeah, that sounds like when I get Bree mad, all of a sudden I can articulate words properly, and everything.
I am a
just
work
comes,
in progress.
Yeah, everything just sounds really good when I fucked up. Yeah, that sounds that's about what it sounds like. Yeah, breaking news. So we won't go more into it. It was good that we appreciate you for saying that. We'll put that on the timestamp that, breaking news. Will Smith apology.
Duke and UNC in the Final Four, man. I mean, who didn't think Coach K was going to get to the Final Four in his last year? Like, come on, bro.
You would think so, right? His career has been like that, very poetic, very, of course, this happens. But hey, I'm glad it did because I'm a UNC fan, and I didn't think they were going to get to this point. I thought they would lose probably right. I think I had them right before the Elite Sweet 16, or maybe just getting into it. But I didn't think they had enough. I didn't think they were consistent. But they're hooping. Caleb Love putting up 30 with step back threes, hooping. So good for them. Duke, now it's all up to them. Will it be one of those historic runs of Coach K's last game? Will be him bawling his eyes out? I don't want to see that personally. I'm going to go against seeing a great story and a great historic. I don't care if he wins. It doesn't make me more feel more about his career. He's the GOAT anyway, as far as college basketball. And then on the other side, your Miami Hurricanes don't come out in the second half, get beat by Kansas. Kansas squad, they're athletic.
Yeah,
Kansas always got an athletic team, bro.
Dude, they always have that, and then they always have like a big man. They can just dominate in the paint.
Yeah, they usually do.
That's where we kind of
they're known for like point guards and big men.
Yeah, we just first half like we were hooping. McGusty was hitting everything, like he was getting to his spots. Second half, they shut that down. There was a lid on the basket. We couldn't drive. We couldn't score. They were denying him the ball. I mean, I'm never want to blame refs. I hate that just because it is what it is. You don't let refs dictate the outcome of the game, but
of course
there were some questionable calls and some ticky-tacky fouls going on that NCAA saw. Hey, we can have UNC, Villanova, Duke, and Kansas in the Final Four.
Either way, it's going to be a great championship, right?
So
either way,
it doesn't matter.
We all win.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be good.
I have noticed that they let them play for out of 40 minutes. They let them play for about 30 minutes of the game, and then I noticed the last 8 minutes. It's a different ball game they're calling.
Yeah,
everything's
the last 5 minutes of the half, they just like
you drive in the paint. It's a charge. Like it's a charge. No matter how you're set up, it's a charge. And then if you drive in the paint, depending on who you are, like the game I was watching, Baylor UNC, bro. Baylor came back from 25 down. We got UNC had the white dude got ejected from the game. It was a harsh elbow, shouldn't have been an ejection. And then Caleb Love fouled out. So we had to play the last 8 minutes without two of the starters, and they came back. They were just driving the whole time. And, hey, good for them for knowing, the flow of the game. You drive, you get fouled. But they were getting so many N1s. Every other possession was N1s, and it was crazy because it's like, man, these refs are really dictating this game. I like that you let them play for the most of it, and then you're calling charges and N1s every play. And I seen that with the TCU game in Arizona. That was a great, epic game. There's been some more games this tournament that stood out to me that I'll remember for a very long time than other years before. Maybe because I've been watching more because of the pod. I don't know. What up?
How's your bracket?
My bracket's busted. Yeah, no, that's never been a thing. It's funny. I checked it every other day just for entertainment purposes. Out of 33,000 members in the Pat McAfee Bonanza 2.0. I was 22K. So I didn't send the check.
Yikes.
Yeah. So that wraps up NCAA. We'll have the Final Four. What is it? Saturday is the both games back to back, I think, and then it is Monday for the championship game, I believe.
Your boy's still on 98th percentile, baby. I don't know how, but in the bracket.
You bracket Brazy? On which one? On the
only one I made.
Oh yeah, 90. Which one is that? ESPN?
98. Yeah, 98th percentile.
Damn, dog.
She
Hash brown, but the FORT BTF fade the FORT.
Feel me?
We'll get into that in a minute. Let's finish up hoops. So we'll just run by it. We don't want to spend too much on sports because sports isn't, it's taking almost a backseat to some of the other stuff we got going on in the world. But the Nets beat the Heat handily. Kyrie's back to playing home games.
About time.
Miami beat them by 90. You guys lose 4 in a row.
This man said by 90.
Oh, by 90? By 30? I felt like 90. Vito was telling me to turn the game off every time. I was like, let me enjoy this. We don't get too many of these blowouts.
When Andre Drummond said the Tyreek Hill peace sign, I was like, it's a wrap. Andre Drummond getting steals and dunking on us. Get me out of here.
But like I said, these are the dog days. You guys were consistently in first. Now the Celtics out of nowhere. They're 9-1 in the last 10. They're hooping. They just lost their starting center though. Robert Williams.
Yeah.
He's out for the year.
They're good.
Solid. But that affects their team right there. That big guy in the paint, that he blocks so many shots, bro. He is I think they dropped because of he's somebody that nobody talks about. Like if you don't watch hoops, you won't know about him, but like if you watch their games, this guy, I know when the Nets play him, he's blocking every shot. He's a big body, and I think he's crucial to their defense, and that's what their backbone is, defense.
Yeah, and he helps when those two slashers are driving in. He's moving people out the paint. Like Tatum gets a lot of his points driving in.
A lot of easy alley-oops.
Yep. So it's going to affect them.
I think that's going to be big for them.
But just the fact that they were able to move up from. I think they were like 6, 7 seed or something. Now they're first. When
we were hitting that tail end, 5th and 6th seed after we lost a lot of games and then KD started coming back before we dropped into playoff. They were still behind us. We were 5th and 6th and they were 7th, and that was a month ago. They just went from 7th to 1st in just maybe a little over than a month. It's crazy. So Heat dropped down. Heat are fighting. I think it's gonna be make or break. I think for the Heat. I think they played so well with injuries. They got to the first place. They were in it for a month or two after the Nets dropped out, and now it's they're fighting, but it's either they're gonna go on a run or they're meant for disaster. I don't think there's an in between. That's not biased. That's not me trying to hate. It's just they're in that in between where it's are they going to get it done and take this and fuel them, or are they cooked and something upsetting is going to happen round one?
Yeah. I mean, when that whole Jimmy Butler, Eric Spoelstra thing started going off on social media, I thought that was going to be a good thing because sometimes you get in these fights with your teammates and coaches and stuff, and that sparks something in the locker room and it just makes you play better. But dude, they're not defending, they're not scoring. Jimmy, it sucks to say this, but when Jimmy is our best scorer, we don't play well. It doesn't make any sense to me because he's supposed to be your franchise star. He's supposed to be your best player. But when he's our highest scorer, we always seem to lose as of recently. And it kind of pisses me off because you need Bam to be your higher scorer. You need Tyler Hero to be your higher scorer to win a game.
He has way too many games that he has he's 4 for 16 with 4 point. He has too many of those. That's in the playoffs. You need to shoot efficiently. Unless you're playing extremely great defense, which the Heat are capable of, it always comes down in the fourth quarter. Who could put the ball in the net?
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
I think that's your problem. I think you guys, Tyler Hero is your best scorer, which is insane. Pure scorer, one, and then there's go get me a bucket. And I can't see many people. Bam's got talent. I'm not taking anything away. For those who are listening, I watch a lot of Miami Heat, so I'm with you on this.
They don't have that hooper. They don't have that like
not
true
many
hooper
hoopers.
that's gonna go
Kyle
out there, put
Lowry's
his head
older.
down.
Jimmy Butler, he's inconsistent. Bam, he could, he's one of those, as a big man, you don't control too much. Joel Embiid and Jokic are the only, and Giannis are the only three out of the whole league that when they have the ball, things are changing, things are moving. Bam is as talented as those guys are, but something happens where you just close out on him and let everybody else try to beat you. So it's unfortunate because Bam, I'm a huge fan of Bam.
Yeah,
like
I like Bam. He's good.
Oh,
he's
he's
got
so
a bright
talented.
future. Yeah, they got to figure it out.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're gonna do. Just Jimmy asking Spoelstra if they're gonna fight, like, and then UD getting into it, like, it didn't look good. But
wild.
Hey, that Heat culture, man. We got to get it
Heat
together.
culture.
We got to get it together.
Let's get it. So let's see. Let's jump quick topics on NFL because there's not much going on, but I wanted to mention a few topics. Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins. How do you feel about it?
We're the fucking fastest offense in the NFL, bitch. Let's go. I'm hype. I know Vito bought season tickets. Vito is the most named person
immediately
on this podcast. Yeah, as he should. But hey,
if I was his financial advisor, I would not approve a lot of things he'd be doing. But go ahead, he's living life. Gotta respect it.
Hey, that's one of those moves that you got to make when you've been a fan of a franchise for 20 years. I've been watching the Dolphins since I was like 8-9 years old, and like that's a kind of move that you want your team to make always. And for them to get a player of Tyreek Hill's caliber, not only is he fast, but like he's good, bro. Like he can kick return, punt return, whatever.
Mm-hmm. He's a game changer.
Yeah, 100%. And you made other moves. You strengthened the O-line. You brought in some good running backs, Chase Edmonds and Mostert. You brought in another receiver. So it's all, honestly, it's all in Tua's hands now. Like, there's no excuses for that dude. Like, you got to show up and perform now.
They got an offensive lineman. I don't know if you just mentioned that there, but
Armstead, from the Saints.
Yeah, so it's like when you say no excuses, you got a lineman, which sometimes you get one lineman and it affects everybody else to step up. So that kind of you don't have to get 5 new line people because your line sucks. You just get 1 or 2 and it sets the tone. And then a weapon. Shit. Yeah. Like you said, it's 2 a time now, boy.
Dude, I feel like that offense is just going to be a lot of zone runs like the 49ers were doing, and like short screens, wide receiver screens, like a lot of like halfback screens. And it's just,
your new head coach comes from San Fran, where they were very creative in their offense while he was there. So if you're gonna see some, probably you'll get a good mix. You'll get, because Jimmy G, when he was in that offense, very conservative. Wasn't bombing the ball, wasn't doing anything crazy, but
there's no need for
they aren't afraid to they're not going to be afraid to put Tyreek Hill in the Wildcat or as a running back. You know what I mean? And that's got to be exciting because as a Giants fan, we get none of that. We are a fucking run up the middle for 2 yards, throw a slant. Like, we are not exciting as a football team on offense. So I will be watching and consuming a lot of Miami Dolphins this year more than ever.
Yeah, we play the Packers at home this year, so if everything aligns in the stars right, I will be at that game just to see Aaron Rodgers and to see what we got. So
yeah, I already put in my bid. Good.
I'm hyped for the Dolphins. It's going to be a good year for us, hopefully, but it just seems like this happens every year. We make a few moves or whatnot. Everyone starts drinking the Dolphins Kool-Aid and then they just underperform, but we got some good talent. We got some game-changing players, so it feels a little bit different this coming season. Yeah,
everybody wants to. I feel like it's only the Dolphin fans that we hate. It's not the Dolphins either team or everybody wants the Dolphins to do good in general nationwide. I feel like it's one of those feel good and then an excuse to go out and party. Right? Like if the Dolphins are 8-2 this season, my life changes in a better way because I'm going out to football games now. Friends that I know that are Dolphin fans want to go hang out. So it affects my life in a way where it's only for the positive. I don't root for them, but like, hey, I'll go out and grab some beers and then go watch the Dolphins game if it's meaningful. So I definitely root for them because they don't affect my team. So I won't, because other group chats will call us out on it. I'm not a Dolphins fan, but I loathe them. I look forward to their success, so it benefits me and benefits his podcast. Most importantly,
I got some NFL breaking news.
NFL breaking news. Hit me with it.
This is from @TMZ, so it's a verified source. If you could say
They're
that.
never wrong.
The NFL is now requiring all 32 of its teams to hire either a minority or a female to their offensive staffs. Why just offensive? Why not defensive? Like, what?
Why not also LGBTQ plus a?
Someone said, why not just pick the best person for the job?
Yeah, I mean,
dude,
yeah, obviously that's serious and good. Overall, we definitely support as minorities ourselves. For those who only listen that don't know what our faces look like, but
we're feminists.
Yeah, look at us. We're not passing many. I'm not passing many lineups. I'm getting a point a finger at me. I might have done that. But it's always good to have that diversity, and as the world evolves and we grow as a society, we will need that. But there's always that point of, are you doing it for the right reasons? Are you doing it just cause formality? It should always go to the best qualified. You, as a company, as a business, you should never give it to somebody because somebody's a female or a minority. Your first step in running anything, is this person qualified, and are they the best out of the 3 options or 4 options or 5? So hopefully teams, I don't know, we live in a weird world where, sometimes if your franchise is tanking and not doing well, you might have to hire somebody that's not qualified to get some good PR on your side. You know what I mean?
A little switch up.
It's just the world we live in, You looking up anything else?
No, I was reading a little bit of the comments and replies.
No, keep doing that, please. This is why I like, because I'm doing so much with looking down at topics and keeping the flow going and other things. I need you to do what you're doing. Be distracted a little bit while I talk a lot. That's
Someone said the Browns hiring a female on staff would be rich.
Oh no, there's so many good jokes I could tell. Dude, once we get rolling and we got more than maybe, once we start getting into 1 million views, because we have at least 1,000 right now and 1,000 subscribers. If you're looking at, our YouTube, don't judge us off the number. But
that's crazy.
Then we could start going into more like probably what we want to talk about. But we're keeping it nice, keeping it PG-13 on this podcast for everybody else, because don't want to offend anybody. But yeah, so Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson. We'll see if that makes sense. We'll see if he gets accused of any other civil suits, or just keep your hands in your pockets, bro. Keep your hands in your pockets.
That's it.
Detroit Lions on NFL Hard Knocks, which is pretty cool because that head coach is wild as fuck, and he should be a very good time. What's his name?
Oh, with the former Dolphins dude? Is it Dan Campbell?
Yeah, what's his name? Dan Campbell. This is where I got you. I don't remember names.
Fucking Dan Campbell. Hey,
Dan
look,
Campbell, he drinks a lot of coffee.
I like Dan Campbell when he was with us. He was our interim coach, so I'm with it.
He seems like somebody that might have hit the bag with that other dude a couple times. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure. Definitely.
He says he does a lot of coffee, but when coffee ain't working,
gotta try some other stuff. They both make you go to the bathroom pretty quick, so
they do. Dietary. It's that black powder and that white powder. But Lions on Hard Knocks should be good. This is Jared Goff's second time on Hard Knocks. The last time he was with Rams and Chargers were on Hard Knocks, which is a pretty good season. It was during COVID, but them having 2 teams during COVID kept it interesting because they showed how both of them were battling through COVID mini camps, and then obviously you had a lot more personalities to look at, but that should be fun. And then in other NFL news, the Bills get a new stadium in upstate New York, which is pretty dope.
They needed it.
Yeah.
They still got bleachers.
They're one of those old franchises that have always been I don't want to use the word they've always been relevant, but they've always been talked about they haven't gotten to the big game and won it, because they've gotten to the big game in the 80s and 90s and just couldn't cash in. They've had great players come through their franchise organization. They just haven't put it together. So good for them for getting a new stadium. I believe I'm trying to look at that Adam Schefter tweeted it, but maybe it was somebody else because they broke it down who's paying for that stadium. It's like the public are out of tax dollars is paying for most of it. And then the organization, the NFL pays for like 200 mil of it. It's crazy. I didn't know break down like sometimes these stadiums, obviously the NFL paying for it benefits them in the long run because they get sometimes depending, I don't know, Buffalo, New York is going to get a Super Bowl, but they benefit from, the revenue that comes from it and stuff like that. But that's always good for them. So any other sports news? I'm wearing my USA jersey from, I think it's Walmart. It's like $10 that I bought a few years ago. They beat Panama. They're not qualified for the World Cup yet, but they're basically a half a step away. All they got to do is take care of business next game. Basically, don't lose 6-0. I think the qualifications, and they'll be in the World Cup. Obviously, the next World Cup, for people who don't know, is in North America. By North America, Canada, Mexico, United States are all hosting. So that's why I said North America, not just America. So all three of those countries will have games. They'll spread them out. That'll be fun. 2026, North America. Looks like USA will be in. And I think Vito told me that they'll have some games in the closest to us or me is in Florida. So Jacksonville, Tampa, I think maybe.
Oh, I'm there.
Now that you're in Georgia, they might do some things in the dome over there, new arena. So never know. They might have some indoor games and shit.
ATL shit.
Yep. And let's go into ending sports. Let's go into Bet the Fort. Talk to me about, tell the people, obviously, people who didn't listen or whatever. Bet the Fort got a new page. It's been, highly successful, not only in the picks he's making, but also the content, the people who have been engaging in the page in only 2 weeks. So talk to us about how that experience has gone and, what you guys, what you have coming up.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited for what we could do with that page because the future of gambling is kind of like limitless right now. Like everyone's getting into it. So I'm definitely excited to see what's going to come with that. I love, people interacting. One of my boys, he put a $25 bet on St. Peter's money line and UNC money line the other day, paid out $430. So that was dude, that was so awesome. Like, even though I didn't pick St. Peter's money line, I took him on the points. He said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna take the money line," and hey, it hit. So he's like, I was trying to do 50, but the wife said just 25. So I was like, hey, that's cool, man. You need someone like that to keep you grounded at times. So that's good. I mean, I've gotten a lot of DMs from people just trying, telling me to go against what I said or they're fading me or whatnot, and I appreciate that too. Like the more interaction, the better.
Okay.
Yeah. We had a sweep the other day, 3-0 sweep with St. Peter's plus 13, Providence plus 7, and Miami minus 3. So that was cool. We had a rough last few nights, but hey, that's bound to happen. I am in the works with the Discord page coming up. A lot of people have told me to start a Discord, so I sent a few invites to some people. I'm trying to make sure that that's clean, crisp, and just ready to rock before I put it out in the public because I don't want no rickety-dickety like trash Discord. And I'm glad that I got some experience with Discord in the past like year or so. I've been on Discord a lot just with like NFT and crypto stuff, so I have a good amount of knowledge with how those run based on just I've been in hundreds of Discords, so I got good knowledge of that. I just want to make it a good experience for everyone, not just making a lot of money, but just something that's easy to understand and something that's for everyone. So, just follow us on IG, Bet the Fort, and we'll be putting some stuff out as well with, Enter the Lab, and be on the lookout for that Discord coming soon.
Growing that little brand and branding. Yeah. That's why I was telling, I think Bree the other day, it was like, that's why I don't like when we started doing this. That's why I didn't want to put the word podcast in all of our titles or things like that, like Enter the Lab podcast, put podcast a bunch of way, because I feel like with me and you getting a second crack at doing this, rebranding, I wanted to make it a brand and not just a podcast where, you're doing your thing on your side. You don't know what what things are going to go and how far you could take it. So I wanted to make it very vague, very, very general, and then we could shape it throughout time. So I love that you're doing that Bet4 page, and I can already tell how passionate about it you are, because you've been hitting me with ideas. We had Bet the Fort on a podcast for over a year, and you've said more ideas and texted me more things in the last 2 weeks than you had in the last year. So that's how I know.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
and that's awesome. I love it. What last week, episode 14, Nets over Grizzlies, L, Heat over Warriors, L, Celtics over Jazz, dub. 1 and 2 from last week. Obviously, you'll continue to do picks every single week on this podcast, so you have it. We'll post it on Bet the Fort, and then we'll repost it on Enter the Lab. But do you have any picks for this episode? And then obviously you'll continue to have your daily ones. I like having the episode ones, and then the daily ones come whenever you're fucking looking at your shit trying to win some money.
No picks today, just kind of an off day for me. Weird day, just timing wise and how everything went.
For sure. We're recording this a little earlier than usual, so we were both thrown off today for sure.
Yeah. But I will, if there's some later NBA games tonight, I will post something on the story. So just be on the lookout for that. I'll continue to post stuff throughout the week, with March Madness Final Four coming in. We got baseball right around the corner. I'm hyped for that, and NBA playoffs. So there's a lot of, stuff to make money from. And I'm not the only one doing these picks. I go out and, get advice from other people and try and make sure that it's a unanimous decision. It's not something that's just coming from me, because I don't know a lot about hockey. I don't know a lot about soccer. So if I'm throwing picks out there with hockey and soccer, just know that it's coming from a good source.
Yeah, and obviously shout out Amanda, right? Amanda Vance.
Yep, absolutely.
You sent a little shout out on her stories to talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
That relationship has evolved.
Yeah, she was on the pod about like 6 months ago. She got on here and helped us out a little bit. We talked a little bit about football, but she got her own website now. She's selling her picks. She's been doing this stuff for a while. She knows her sports stuff. Just because she's a female, just because she's a girl, doesn't mean she doesn't know what she's talking about. She's very involved with sports. She's been involved with sports. It's good. I'm excited for her, and she seems to be doing pretty well. I'm taking some of her picks, and it's like 70%. I'm making money. So if you got some extra cash and want to buy some picks from her, definitely go on her story and on her website and buy some picks.
Love it. Yeah, she's been a friend of the pod since we had her on, and always kept in touch. And I'm glad you guys can link up. Maybe as you grow, because you're just starting off, you don't want to get it too far ahead of yourself. Hopefully, we get to build and have her back on. She's doing her thing with her new website, which is awesome. And, we try to spread love as much as we can, because obviously we want that back. But let's see. That's Bet the Fort. You'll have picks every day, stories, pay attention. We'll post something for the Final Four before Saturday with your picks and that. And then obviously leading into that, you'll have some cool picks. So that's it on my end before shout outs and all that. What do you have on your end for shout outs before we wrap up episode 16?
Shout out Charlie, man. He was, big in that episode we did last week. I know you kind of touched that in the beginning, but I mean, just for him to take time out of his day, out of his busy schedule, just being a pro athlete and coming on to talk to us for 45 minutes. I know it may not seem like a lot, but that was good. He's retweeted it, he's liked it, he's posted us on his stuff, so that was awesome. That was a good experience, and we hope to have him on again and wish him nothing but success in this coming season and in his career.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. We were talking 48 hours every hour, because it was the most views we were getting on YouTube. We're starting off small, we know that, but to us it's big, because we get to see doing episode 1 and 2 how it had a little bit of momentum and then died down a little bit, and then we do something like that, all of a sudden the numbers quadruple in one day. We had the most amount of views on YouTube. We had the most amount of, again, I think episode 14 we said we had 8 new subscribers in a day or two, but then since then we had another 20 since. So it's definitely grown.
It's a work in progress
for sure, and it's going to take time. And and that's what I'm excited for. I live for the journey and watching something grow. I don't want it to go fast and as far as get out of control. I like the process that we're doing here. So we're just having fun and creating good content. Hopefully you guys like it. Some shout outs for me. We welcomed last week my second nephew into the world. My sister Raquel gave birth to Sebastian. I'm the godfather to Sebastian, which is awesome. I don't know what I have to do. I Googled what's a godfather. What do they have to do? It's a religious thing, which I'm not religious, so I'll have to create my own way of doing shit. But it just means I'm going to be more responsible, and I'm going to hold him to as high as standard as I have held myself to in my life, which sometimes it's a little skewed, sometimes very low. What the standard I hold myself to, and then sometimes it's too high. So we'll find that balance with him, but he's healthy, happy, he's awesome. Can't wait to see him going back to New York. First week of May, I'm going to try to hang out with him for a week and then go to a Yankee game, go to a Staten Island Ferries game. So have some good fun in May while it's getting warmer, and obviously New York is not locked down. So shout out Baby Bash. Triple H retired. Shout out, he had to retire. It was big news just because, wrestlers, quote unquote, in the wrestling world, if you're a fan or you're an enthusiast like I am, wrestlers never retire. They just go away for a little bit, and then, they come back when they're 55 and 60, whether it's wrestling full-time, part-time, or, they never really retire because you always kind of want to come back and you can make $1 million in a year just from wrestling like 2 matches or whatever. So he had to officially retire because of heart complications and something that he has a pacemaker now. So he even said, he was like, I definitely am retiring because it wouldn't be smart to go on live TV and that thing buzzes or something goes wrong. And, it wouldn't be a good look to have to go into cardiac arrest live on television. So he's doing big things. He's always been a legend in wrestling. So, and speaking of wrestling, WrestleMania weekend, 2-night spectacular. I'm hopping off this episode and watching Raw because I got to watch them. Usually I watch them like with delay, but then I can't go on social media. So Monday's Raw and Friday SmackDown should be fun. Hopefully I have people over for both days. You could turn. Do you have Peacock? Do you have that privy to you on the app?
No, I don't.
No. See, I'm scared to. I don't even want to put it out there. I'm scared to do anything with the app because we got rid of Xfinity. We got YouTube TV, and I canceled Xfinity, and it should have canceled Peacock. And I'm still logged in. I'm still on it. So I'm not logging out. I'm not sharing passwords. So no offense, but I don't want to touch it because the moment something might go wrong, I might lose it forever. And like, it's not a big deal. It's like $5 a month, $10 a month. But like, I want to keep that going because I feel like I'm robbing them as they robbed me for about 5 years having Xfinity. So we're never going to be even. But yeah, WrestleMania weekend. We have hopefully somebody hopping on next week, which we need to talk off air for a baseball preview. He has a successful podcast and channel, and he's in the realm of social media.
We've been DMing back and forth.
Yeah, so hopefully we have a baseball preview because the season starts April 7th. And then we have, hopefully we have a guest on to wrap up WrestleMania weekend or week or something like that, just to throw in. But that person could talk about sports and other things that go on in society. But last thing is stickers. We have stickers made. Fort, talk about that. You made the stickers yesterday.
Yeah, we're getting the stickers ordered. They're already ordered. We've been talking about that for a while now. It's about time we did it. We got the QR code right on it. So all you got to do is just open your camera app, put it on there, and tap the link, and it's going to pop up our LINKTREE to our YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Bet the Fort page, our IG, our Twitter, all that kind of stuff. So it'll just be cool, to have more eyes, just have the pod more accessible. If you like, share, retweet, or whatever, we could probably do sticker giveaways, stuff like that. And just, you can put it wherever you want, or on your MacBook, computer, on your car, on your PlayStation, on the back of your phone, whatever. So just to make it easier for people to, see our pod and see what we talk about on a weekly basis.
Yeah, well, we paid for them. We'll give them out for free if you're interested. And you see us or DM us if you want to, because you're gonna put it on your laptop or something, or somewhere we're not somebody's not gonna see. We prefer, the second one or the first one be on, a public place, public bath. Bathroom stalls are always a good thing. People in the bathroom doing either legal activity or illegal activity. You pull out your phone, when you're in there or any place. Cause I know there was an ad for Super Bowl, which that crypto thing that was bouncing around the
There's a
screen.
QR code.
Yeah, QR code. And it didn't have any information about it, but it made you pull out your phone and be like, all right, let me figure out what the fuck this is. Hopefully with just our logo, enter the lab, doesn't say podcast, doesn't say like anything. It just has the QR code. Hopefully enough people are curious and hop on. Yep. And see it.
Right,
so that'd be fun to just track that. We appreciate you for doing that. But that's it for, we had a couple breaking news stories on these. Little Will Smith update, a little NFL update. Any last words for you?
Bet the fort or fade the fort, whatever you want to do.
Either way, let's have some fun.
Let's do it.
All right, brother. That's episode 16. YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Those are our main things. Huh?
No Will Smith wife jokes.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Chris, shout out Chris Rock. He's got to get some love.
Yeah,
just real. Like we can make the jokes. Rock. I was gonna mention it before, but you don't know what you'll do when you're in a situation when you're in front of people. But not only that, in front of live television, you're a professional. You have to figure out. So for people to be like, I wouldn't have just eaten that up, you're full of shit, because you go into shock when something like that happens. So shout out Chris Rock. Will Smith, go get yourself checked out or whatever you want. Episode 16, Elvis Escobar, Fort Sama. Enter the lab, exit the lab. Peace.